misschien een leuke wetenswaardigheid dat de luchtmacht inmiddels Max Verstappen heeft uitgenodigd om een keer tegen elkaar te gaan racen. Wanneer dat gaat gebeuren, of dat gaat gebeuren, is natuurlijk de vraag, maar de uitnodiging ligt er. En ik denk dat u ongetwijfeld door de media daarvan op de hoogte gehouden gaat worden. Maar dat zou best wel wezen.
TCR Europe Round hier op de starthitte tussen voorbij veldstappen wederom. Dit keer niet de beste reis van de wereld. Maar we gaan één ding maar gaan. We gaan naar een continent Europa. Europa ligt natuurlijk ook de Benelux. Dus die ronde is snel gemaakt. Er nog best wel veel veld, want die hebben, als het goed is, even kijken, 22 bonus.
Hello and welcome to Zandvoort in the Netherlands for our coverage of this second race this afternoon from the Netherlands in the TCR Europe Series 2018. It's Mark James once again in the commentary box. You're very welcome, and could I wish you a happy Pinksteren. In case you're wondering why we are racing on a Monday, it is a public holiday here in the Netherlands, and as you can see, tens of thousands of people have flocked to this historic racing circuit, which is literally a couple of hundred meters away from the North Sea. You see there the main grandstand. Behind that there's a sand dune or two, a main road, and then it's the beach. So issues yesterday with sea mist rolling in, if you were with us for race one, No such problems today. It's been an absolutely glorious day. You saw the temperatures a moment or two ago, 25 degrees air temperature here. The crowd basking in the sunshine. 22 cars entered for this race. Unfortunately, 21 will start. We have a non-starter. You'll see there that there is no car 8. Reese Barr, that horrific, heavy collision with the barrier at the start of yesterday's race means that the Hyundai will need to be reshelled, and so no Reese Barr, no target competition third car, and so it's 21 cars that will take the start of the race this afternoon. And it's the usual 23 minutes plus 1 lap configuration. There is the man who's on pole position. Dutch drivers on pole for both races. It was Jaap van Lagen in the Audi yesterday. Today it's Danny Cruz in the Cupra TCR. Alongside him on the grid, you see there on the left of your screen, there he is, Jens Renaud Moller, the two scrapping yesterday in race 1. On that occasion it was Cruz who came out on top, Danny Cruz finishing in 8th and Moller finishing in 10th position. So the start could be very interesting. The drag down to the Tarzanbocht, the most famous corner here at Zandvoort. There is Danny Nage, row 2 of the grid in the Hyundai. And alongside him is Josh Files, double TCR Germany champion, TCR Middle East champion, and desperate to get his first podium finish of the year in TCR Europe. Little wave from Josh. On row 3, the current leader of the Drivers' Championship, the giant of a man, Dusan Borkovic in the target competition. Hyundai winner of both races a fortnight ago at Paul Ricard. And alongside him, his teammate Chris Ricard from Switzerland. Car of their teammate Reese Barr already undercover and already plans underway to be reshelled. Attila Tashi on row 4 of the grid. Finished on the podium yesterday in the sister car to Josh Files, the Honda Civic FK7. Alongside Attila Tashi on the grid will be yesterday's race winner, Mikel Azcona from Spain in the Cupra. Absolutely delighted yesterday was Mikel Azcona. Still, I think, coming down to earth from that victory. Behind Azcona, Jaap van Lagen, yesterday's pole sitter in the Audi. What can he do from the 5th row of the grid? And it certainly seems that Zandvoort suits the Audis from what we've seen, not just from TCR Europe, but also from the WTCR races that have been going on the same bill. Alongside Jaap van Lagen is Stian Paulsen in the Cupra. Very much a small operation, a couple of guys with a van and a trailer, and proof that you can compete at this level without spending the mega bucks of the main teams. Stian and a couple of friends, and he posts the vlogs and does all sorts. Well worth following if you can. So, confirmation then of our starting grid for this second race at Zandvoort. Danny Cruz, on pole alongside Jens Renaud Moller. Then Nage and Files, Borkovic and Richard, Tashi and Azcona, Van Lagen, Paulsen, Stefanovski and Brichet, Maxime Potti and Francisco Abreu. And behind them, it's Mark Jedlotsky in the Cupra, Cedric Pirot, Francisco Mora, Loris Cenchetti, Viktor Davidovsky, Martin Rieber, and right at the back of the grid, it's our lady driver, Marie Boos-Koppen. Had a bit of a miserable day yesterday with a gearbox problem. She was out, back in, went out, back in. One of 7 drivers registered for the TCR Benelux Championship, and it's the first round of that series this weekend, so eligible for both championships, TCR Europe and TCR Benelux. So you see the countdown clock at the top of your screen. A handful of seconds away now from the green flag lap. And then in something like 4 minutes' time, we will start the first of these racing laps. Danny Cruz then leads the cars away for this green flag lap. And the commentary box, you can just see there on the right of your screen. I'm right alongside pole position, separated by a screen and a catch fence, but I have a brilliant view which makes a change of the pole sitter. Borkovic, perfect score last time out in Paul Ricard, pole position and the winner of both races. But Jaap van Lagen pole and Mikel Azcona winner of race 1 here. 8 points, I think, from the last time I checked the driver's point situation between Borkovic and Azcona. So what will happen this afternoon? A much happier Attila Tashi here in Holland. You remember in France he was suffering from the flu, very much below par. A dramatic entry yesterday. He arrived at the circuit probably about 10 minutes or so before they were forming up on the pre-grid, allowing 20 minutes for the usual drive from the hotel. Took him 2 hours. And so rather stressed Attila when I saw him as I was walking over to the commentary box yesterday. A lot happier today. The crowd's a little smaller, so there still were delays getting into the circuit, but I think everybody learnt from yesterday and left plenty of time. So a beautiful day on the Netherlands coast. We're around 35-40 minutes from Amsterdam itself, so very easy circuit to get to. And with all of the events going on here this weekend, it's Max Verstappen, Danny Ricciardo, and also David Coulthard that have been here with the Red Bull Formula One cars. There's been a caravan race, there's been all sorts, plus of course the 3 WTCR races, the 2 TCR Europe races. No wonder there's such a big crowd here. And you can see that heat haze turning people pink as they look down over the start-finish straight. You briefly saw Marie Bo Coppens in the background in the Cupra, the only DSG car, the only car with a DSG gearbox here. Everybody else using the sequential box, which means that yesterday, no points for her because she didn't do 75% of race distance. If she can bring that car home and having done 75% race distance, she will pick up maximum points for the DSG trophy, which at the end of the year will be worth winning. So there's Borkovic, there's Richard, Tashi, Mikael Athkona. Around turn 14 then, and Danny Cruz tiptoes down to his start position on the front row of the grid. There is Jens Renaud Muller pulling across to go into the grid box alongside. Pole position on the left-hand side of the circuit. And you see there in the distance the entry to that long hairpin, the right-hand hairpin at turn 1, the Tarzanbocht. And all the incidents, most of the incidents this weekend seem to have been coming at turns 2 and 3. The right-hander at 2, the left-hand hairpin at turn 3. So 21 cars take to the grid. We'll be watching for the green flag. Bo Coppens on the left takes her grid position. There's the green flag man waiting for her to be in position. He waves. We're now seconds away. The 5-second board will be held up. There the lights go on. We're moments away. The lights go off. Watch these two on the front row. Across comes Cruz, but no, indeed, it's Moller who's got the line. Files tucked up right behind. And the front row pair as the Hyundai mixes it as well. Danny Nage in the Mira Hyundai is in there. Files goes through. So it's Honda's first and second. Jens Renaud Muller from Josh Files. Then it's Danny Cruz side by side with Danny Nage. Safely around the left-hand hairpin, up the hill, turn 3 this is. And no repeat of dramas from yesterday, although there's body damage to Danny Nage's car. And what can Files do? Determined to get a good result. You see there the flapping front wing on the 999 car. Files goes through, he dives up the inside, so the lead changes hands. Josh Files picks his moment, goes past Jens Renaud Muller. Josh Files leads, Muller second, Danny Cruz alongside, and he goes through as well. So, continuation of the battle that we saw yesterday. Danny Cruz also passing Muller, then fourth, I think, is Chris Richard. Cruz just pounding across the curbs. Danny Nage hanging on in there in fourth. Going to get flagged in because of that body damage from a contact that we didn't see. I was just about to say that the race got underway a lot more cleanly than yesterday. End of lap 1 then. Our race leader is Josh Files in the Honda Civic, ahead of Danny Cruz, ahead of Jens Renault Muller. A little bit of nudging between the pair there going around turn 1. Chris Ricard in the Target Hyundai in fourth. Behind him Danny Nage, Attila Tashi, Jaap van Lagen. There is Stian Paulsen in the yellow Cupra. Van Lagen right up behind Danny Nage as Borkovic is in the pits. Drivers' Championship leader is in the pits. All contact between Van Lagen's Audi and Danny Nage in the Hyundai. The pair side by side. Van Lagen goes through. Out comes Borkovic, so whatever the problem was has been sorted. But not at all what Borkovic wanted. Van Lagen now sets off in pursuit of the group ahead. Van Lagen currently fifth, Moller in fourth. Now this is the passing manoeuvre. Elbows were definitely out at this point. Van Lagen now, off in pursuit of Jens Renault Muller, our pole sitter. Excuse me, front row man. He has a little look, thinks better of it, as does Tashi. Tashi tucked in behind his fellow Hungarian, Danny Nage. Then it's Azcona. The other Cupra of Stian Paulsen tucked in behind Azcona. There they are. I think this is our next overtake. The question is, when's it going to happen? This is where Van Lagen made the move last time. He does it again this lap. Jaap van Lagen moves up a place. Picks his moment. No contact this time. Clean move from Jaap van Lagen. And Julien Brichet, who has had a torrid start to the TCR Europe campaign, missed Paul Ricard because of the fact that the car wasn't available. Retired yesterday on the start line, so already in the pits. So out of 4 races, 2 non-starts, 2 non-finishes. Tashi then still tucked in behind Danny Nage. Then it's Azcona, then Stian Paulsen. Still the body damage flapping away on Danny Nage's car. So they come around to complete another lap. So they're at the start of lap 4. Tashi still tucked in. He now defends from Azcona. And there's contact between, I think, the 2 Hungarians. There was a little tap from Tashi. But whether he was encouraged by Azcona, who also picks his way past Danny Nage. So, changes then. So both Attila Tashi and Mikael Azcona making their way past Danny Nage. Paulsen next in turn, I suspect. Oh, contact again, this time a lot more prolonged. Paulsen muscling his way past Danny Nage. Oh, but Nage comes back at him. Big sideways, big collision with the barrier. And Paulsen in the gravel. That, I suspect, will bring out the safety car while he's recovered. Now the stewards, I suspect, will take a look at that, because there was definitely contact on both sides. The contact between Attila Tashi and Josh Files, I think, 9 and 99 under investigation. Where was that? Oh, this is the moment that he just gets tipped by Danny Nage. And so the yellow flags are out in the second sector. Will that be enough to give the marshals the chance to recover the car? No sign of the safety car as yet. So around they come then. So Josh Files still leads from Danny Cruz, our pole sitter, then Chris Ricard, then Jaap van Lagen. That's the battle we're looking at, second, third and fourth. Surely only a matter of time before Van Lagen makes a move on Chris Ricard. Van Lagen, it's Moller ahead of Tashi, Athkonar, Danny Nage. And sure enough, the contact between 34, which is Stian Paulsen, and 999, which is Danny Nage, is under investigation. No surprise. So there's our race leader, Josh Files, heading off into the distance. These three then, as Stian gets into safety. So at the moment it's Honda from Cupra, from Hyundai, from Audi, from Honda. So 4 different brands in the top 4 places, with Rhys Barr not starting and with problems as yet unspecified hitting Dusan Borkovic. The hopes of the target competition team now squarely on the shoulders of Chris Ricard, another TCR Germany regular, along with Josh Files. Can he hold off Jaap van Lagen? Can he do anything to advance further up? As there's a switch, in fact a couple of switches. It's Mora who's moved up into 9th, ahead of Francisco Abreu. Maxime Potty in 11th. We see there that train running together. Francisco Abreu in the Peugeot, the Sports and You, the blue car, the number 23 Peugeot. So this is the scrap at the bottom end of the top 10 as Stian Paulsen's car is recovered to a place of safety. So indeed we avoided the safety car coming out. Yellow flags will be replaced by green very shortly, and so we'll be racing fully through Sector 2. Maxime Potty in the Golf is in pursuit now. As I predicted, bad news for Chris Ricard, because Jaap van Lagen in the Audi has gone through. Van Lagen now up into 3rd place. Danny Cruz, his next target. And this is the moment where Van Lagen goes around the outside of Chris Ricard. And so 4th becomes 3rd, and Julien Brichet, I mentioned a torrid time for him, not getting any better. So into the pits. Still yellows in Sector 2. As off into the distance, you can just see there at the top of your screen disappearing, is our race leader, Josh Files. Danny Cruz now coming under the unwelcome attention of Jaap van Lagen. And Van Lagen, remember, replacing for this event the regular Leopard Lukoil Audi driver Jean-Carl Venet, the reigning TCR International Series champion. Venet on WTCR duty this weekend, and so it's Van Lagen, home driver, who's stepped up for this one event. So very sensibly, we let our leader go and we focus on the battle for second place. There are the guys from Leopard. Van Lagen now closing right up on the back of Danny Cruz, who gets it slightly sideways. Doesn't quite open the door as Ricard comes back. So this battle is far from decided. Ricard just has a look around the outside, so Van Lagen switches from attack to defence. Currently running second, third and fourth. Danny Cruz second, Jaap Van Lagen third, Chris Ricard fourth. Then there's a gap back to Jens Reno Moller. Attila Tashi currently sixth, Mikael Athkonar in seventh, Danny Naj eighth. Surely only a matter of time. Oh, big sideways from Mikael Athkonar. Lucky to get away with that, coming around turn 14 onto the start-finish straight. There then is our race leader, Josh Files. No changes in the order behind him. So the podium scrap looks to go down to the wire. We have under 10 minutes plus one lap of this race remaining. Only the one yellow flag period so far. And you see 3.5 seconds, the gap between first and second. And that is Francisco Mora going through in the Hyundai. Danny Cruz still defending from Jaap Van Lagen, who takes a look around the outside. Contact, I think, between the pair. Van Lagen dives through on the inside. So indeed, second place has changed hands. Getting so excited I couldn't get my words out. Jaap Van Lagen in the Audi snatches second place and now sets off in hot pursuit of our race leader. So the podium positions having swapped once again. Josh Files still leads, but now it's Jaap Van Lagen in second, Danny Cruz third. Then it's Chris Ricard fourth, and now Attila Tashi has closed right up. Tashi in fifth, right up behind Chris Ricard. 8.5 minutes, plus one lap remaining of this race. Flags are out, and as Tashi dives up the inside of Chris Ricard. Now, where were the flags out? Turn 5, I'm told, there's debris on track. So the passing manoeuvre by Tashi was fair. As that was the passing move. A little bumping and banging from Jaap Van Lagen. That's not the first time we've seen that today. So that's a reminder of our second and third places changing hands. And Cruz still with Jaap Van Lagen. Through goes Files. The gap staying more or less constant. .3 seconds, so it's come down about 2/10 in that last lap or two. Danny Cruz keeping Jaap Van Lagen honest. Tashi's now through. So Tashi has passed Chris Ricard. Will we see two Honda teammates on the podium? If Tashi can get past Danny Cruz, then that could potentially be the case. Josh Files, though, out on his own. Will be aware of the scrap behind him. There it is. Still a four-way scrap, although Chris Ricard, I suspect, will be playing less of a part. The lights flashing furiously on Attila Tashi's car. just trying to unsettle Danny Cruz, all playing mind games, remember. And it's all about who makes the mistake. And if you can pressure your opponent at just running wide and just losing concentration at the key moment, then you're through. Van Lagen pulling away slightly from Danny Cruz, who's now defending from Attila Tashi. Dropping back is Chris Richard in the Hyundai. Despite the fact that Cruz is defending from Tashi, the gap from Van Lagen back to Cruz isn't opening that much. Borkovic back out. We've hardly talked about him. Borkovic at the moment in P19, so no points for him from this race, to his frustration. The action next switches, by the way, in 3 weeks' time to another classic of the European circuits at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. So Tashi takes a look up the inside, not quite close enough to Cruz, who turns in. Through Tarzanbach they go. 4.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Josh Files from the United Kingdom leads. Jaap van Lagen, to the delight of the Dutch fans, is in second place ahead of Danny Cruz, another Dutch driver, ahead of the 18-year-old Hungarian Attila Tashi. As we're looking at Stefanovski scrapping with Martin Rieber. Now, we've not mentioned Rieber at all. Rieber in the Volkswagen. I'm told that Martin Rieber is supposedly from the Czech Republic. I thought he was Slovak. But Rieber is apparently Russian for fish. And the car is run by the Brutal Fish Racing team, so you never know. Missing the first round of the series, Martin Rieber, because the car was delayed in transport back from TCR Middle East. So it's two of our Macedonian drivers scrapping at the moment with Martin Rieber. We go back, though, to the scrap for the podium places. At the moment, still Danny Cruz in third place, holding off Attila Tashi. National pride at stake here. Danny Cruz desperately wanting to finish on the podium in front of his home fans. Van Lagen starting now to pull away, but almost certainly not enough time left in which to catch our race leader. Tashi, and what's happened there? A spin, possibly? Possibly through the gravel, judging by the dust thrown up. Tashi now all over the back of Danny Cruz's car. This is the left-hander at turn 3 as Cedric Pirot has a look up the outside of Mark Jedlotsky's car. There goes Van Lagen. There's Cruz. There's Tashi. Not quite close enough. Tantalizingly close. But Cruz defending brilliantly from Tashi. Tashi, you'll remember, double victor at his home round of the International Series, the Hungaroring last year. Finished as runner-up to Jean Calvinet in the International Series in 2017. Has high hopes of doing well in TCR Europe this year, but the season not beginning well for Attila in France 2 weeks ago. There's the guys from the team. Intense concentration, but there's very little they can do. So 2 laps remaining then, with around a minute or so on the clock. The next time, as Tashi just takes a look at the inside of Cruz, the next time our race leader crosses the start-finish line will be the start of the final lap. And again, Tashi flashing his lights, just trying to upset the concentration. Cruz, though, having none of it. Both 18 years of age. Danny Cruz, a similar start to motorsport from Attila. So the seconds tick down then, we're 10 seconds or so away from the clock running out. And then it'll be one final lap that will decide this second of the Netherlands races in TCR Europe. I did mention TCR Benelux earlier on, of course. 7 competitors registered, Danny Cruz being one of them, but Jaap van Lagen being the other. We've hardly seen Josh Files. We've seen him briefly at the back of shots, disappearing off into the distance, but Josh Files, I'm not going to jinx it, but he comes around the final corner to start this final lap. 4.3 kilometers now stand between Josh Files and his first victory of the season. Cedric Pirot and Mark Jedlotsky, we were looking at them a little while ago, and a little nudge, oh yes, just a little contact between the pair as our attention switches back to the battle for the final podium position. Attila Tashi clearly frustrated, but Danny Cruz doing a brilliant job of defending lap after lap after lap, holding off Attila. A really good scrap this, but also you see Jaap van Lagen just going over the brow, not pulling away that much from this pair, and certainly not getting close enough to do anything about Josh Files' lead. So we're on the final lap here at Zandvoort. Josh Files leads from Jaap van Lagen, from Danny Cruz, from Attila Tashi, there they are. Chris Richard is still 5th. Mikel Azcona, winner of race 1, is 6th. Jens Renaud Moller is in 7th. And it's Mora in 8th, Danny Nage in 9th, and Francisco Abreu in 10th place at the moment, as just up the inside goes Attila Tashi, just takes a lunge, has the line. Whew, breathtaking stuff. Cruz, though, not giving up, just a little tap back. And the pair again rubbing paint as they go through the corners. Brilliant touring car racing. Oh, Attila Tashi being pushed wide. I'm not sure if you can hear the cheers of the crowd who've been watching that on the big screens around the circuit. Chris Richard goes alongside Attila Tashi, but indeed Tashi has the position. So, bumping and banging, paint being exchanged between the pair on this final lap. But Danny Cruz is not giving up without a fight. Josh Files comes around turn 14 for the final time to take the checkered flag. His lights flash. Josh Files takes victory here in Zandvoort. In 2nd place, there he is Jaap van Lagen, with Danny Cruz 3rd, Attila Tashi 4th, Chris Richard in 5th, Mikel Azcona in 6th, and there, 7th and 8th, are Moller and Mora. Congratulations for the team. Very muted celebrations there, considering they very nearly had 2 cars on the podium. What a brilliant final lap. Really good ding-dong racing between Danny Cruz and Attila Tashi. Let's look at it again. Tashi dives up the inside. He threw Cruz a bit of a dummy. Not really enough room for the pair. Cruz just edging Tashi out, who's lucky not to collect Chris Richard, who's very sensibly left room for him as he comes back on. And there is Attila Tashi. So first place, and 4th for the Hell Energy Racing with KCMG team with the 2 Hondas. So 3 different manufacturers, 3 different brands on the podium here in Zandvoort at the end of this second TCR Europe race. The victory goes to the Honda Civic of Josh Files. In second place is the Audi RS3 LMS of Jaap van Lagen, who also takes away the points for the best TCR Benelux finisher. And then third on the grid, you saw briefly there Jaime Puig and the senior management from Cupra Racing. So it's Honda from Audi, from Cupra, from Honda. That's the way they finished, from Hyundai incidentally, because Chris Richard finishing 5th. And they come around to the applause of the crowd and the marshals. A little way from Josh Files. Let's get confirmation then of the result of this second race here in Zandvoort. Josh Files the winner from Van Lagen, with Danny Cruz and Attila Tashi, that great battle. Richard, Azcona, Moller, Mora, Naj and Abreu rounding off the top 10. Behind those 10, Maxime Potti, Loris Ciancetti, Mark Jedlotsky, Piro, Davidovsky, Stefanovsky. Maribo Coppens is a finisher, so she'll take the points for the DSG. Then it's Borkovic, with unfortunately Julien Brichet bringing up the rear in the Peugeot. Into the pit lane they come then. Those 3 men heading for the podium. The other cars being taken off and heading straight back to Parc Fermé. So we'll see the celebrations of a no doubt delighted Josh Files, who gets his TCR Europe campaign underway. Big cheers from the Dutch fans, 2 Dutch drivers on the podium. So the belt's being undone by Josh Files. Let's see the delight on his face when he gets out of the car. Nice job, Josh. Ah, you can see.
Great job, great job. Good job, mate.
That's Richard, his race engineer, travels pretty much everywhere with him. Mats Fischer from Yas, the car builders, congratulating him as the circuit commentator gets a word in with Jaap van Lagen. More hugs and congratulations. Happy now. I think I know the answer to that question. Not too long now, Josh. We need to have a quick word with you, see how happy you are. That's how much victory or a podium finish means to a lot of people here at Zandvoort this weekend. Alfredo Filippone is our man down in the pits as Josh gets his helmet and balaclava and earpieces out. Pepe Oriola's dad, that was. Let's head down then to the pit lane. Let's catch up with our race winner. Josh Files is with Alfredo.
Josh Files, what a great race and what a great win.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few issues with setup in the early parts of the weekend, but we worked through it as a team. My engineer Nicola and I and the guys at KCMG Hell Energy Racing. You know, we worked through step by step, and we came up with a fantastic car yesterday and an even better one today. And I'm just so happy, you know, a 4th and a win at a circuit that I love, Zandvoort, and it's, if anything, it's kind of my local circuit because I'm only 100 kilometers across the sea from here. So it's really great, and yeah, I'm just so happy to win this one for Honda and KCMG.
And now going for a European title after Middle East, after Germany twice.
Yeah, I mean, you can only but try, can't you? I think that race was putting us on the map. Now we've got Spa coming up, so we have to work through, you know, what we could do there and try and be as fast there as we were here today. So yeah, we'll definitely be pushing for that title.
Well done. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Josh. Oh, I thought his local circuit was Snetterton in Norfolk, but let's just confirm that again then. After 14 laps, Josh Files from the United Kingdom takes victory from Jaap van Lagen and Danny Cruz. Attila Tashi 4th, Chris Richard 5th, Mikael Athkonar 6th, and then it was Moller, I think, heading the pack that finished off the top 10. Dusan Borkovic down in 18th place, so no points for Dusan. And you'll remember Josh Files narrowly missed out on taking the TCR Europe title last year with the shootout at Adria, but he's got his campaign on track here at Zandvoort this weekend. Let's just relive some of the highlights from that race too. So from the race highlights, we switch seamlessly to the podium. 2 Dutch drivers on the podium, together with that British driver. Top step of the podium for Josh Files. And so the national anthem of the United Kingdom for Josh Files.
En ter gelegenheid van de winnaar, Josh Files, gaan we luisteren naar het volkslied. Ja, dames en heren, applaus. Dan wordt de eerste prijs uitgereikt. Die Minori, meneer Minori, Yokohama Motorsport Manager.
So once again, the trophy is being presented by the motorsport manager of the tyre supplier to the series, Yokohama. First place goes to Josh Files.
Door meneer Minori.
Second place to Jaap van Lagen. The big grandstand, remember, right across the track from the podium. Danny Cruz will take 3rd place.
Winning team.
And the winning team from Hell Energy Racing with KCMG, they get the team's trophy. There it is. And then the Benelux trophy for the leading or highest placed finisher in the TCR Benelux series will go, unless I'm very much mistaken, to Jaap van Lagen. And there it is. So once again, weighed down with trophies, leaving the podium, Jaap van Lagen. There'll now be the traditional photo shoot. And then it'll be the champagne. And the poor lady on the right has virtually nowhere to go.